Just kidding. Make sure you go listen to my EP, guys. It's out now.
This shit is exciting. Get into the money. Might be. There's more of a whole thing than it might be. Come on, I'm gonna call my next and lush. Let me kiss my beautiful butt. Is that stuff when I come to you? You dumb bitch can't stand me.
All right, so Joseph Bill said that we should have a little theme song for the show, so this was on the fly. Welcome to What's What, where we talk about stuff that piss people off because we don't give a fuck. All right, what up, y'all? We're back again, episode 9? 8. I'm ahead of the game. Episode 8 of What's What.
You want to be over there already?
No, I have fun doing this. So, with Paige, with Janae, we're back. And
Quarantine made her antisocial.
It was before quarantine I was antisocial, but
she just got in touch with it, I guess.
Yes.
Reacquainted? Yeah.
Yes. So today our topic is Black Lives Matter. So we're going to dig into that, and then we'll do what we've been up to, and then we'll get into our interactive question, which is when Janaea puts a question on Facebook, you guys answer, and we go over the responses. So we'll start with Black Lives Matter. So I'm just going to read this straight from Google because I don't want to get any of the facts wrong. So this is straight from Google. In the summer of 2013, after George Zimmerman's acquittal for the shooting death of Trayvon Martin, the movement began with the hashtag Black Lives Matter. The movement was co-founded by 3 Black community organizers, Alicia Garza, Patrice Cullors, and Opal Tometi. So that's where it came from originally, was the shooting of Trayvon Martin. And let me get my notes out here because I want to be professional. So that's where it came from. What is the movement itself? So the Black Lives Matter Global Network is a chapter-based, member-led organization whose mission is to build local power and to intervene in violence inflicted on Black communities by the state and vigilantes. So this is a movement that's created to bring awareness and change to the systemic racism and violence against Black people, people of color. So that's what it's about. We're going to get into some numbers and some more facts about, violence and systemic racism, things like that. So, Janaea, take it over.
Okay, so Black Lives Matter, our perspective of what the movement means to us, and before I do that, I'm going to give you some percentages. So, percentage of colored people arrested is 40 to 65% in the U.S. Incarcerated, more than 60% of people in prison are people of color, so that's incarcerated. So it's not just you got arrested and got let go the next day. This is incarcerated, you're in the prison system. It's about 60%, which is alarmingly high. And then fair opportunity. Fair opportunity means that they have the same opportunity as a person without color to make the same income or have the same career and make the same amount of money. So people of color make up to 25% less than the white population and twice as likely to be unemployed. So basically, you have 2 people, same talent, same career choice, same everything, and you have, a person without color, a white person making up to 25% more than a person of color. That's what that means, in case you guys are confused. Anyways, references to some of the information that we're gathering is from blacklivesmatter.com and www.dosomething.org, and then there's slashes and stuff like that. I'll be putting that information up as well. So my whole perspective on this, and I know I'm going to hear it because usually when you talk about Black Lives Matter, there's always someone that says all lives matter. So, all lives matter. So there is no reason races of color should have less opportunity to succeed than others and higher numbers arrested or incarcerated. I've heard the arguments on the why, but when the numbers are wrong because of prejudice and assumption, we need to be better at evaluating ourselves. So you're talking about, violence, arrests, people are getting killed in the streets, people are getting arrested in stores, and most of them are of color. It does not mean that, they have something. This number is even with people that are carrying pot, whether they have a license for it or not. Is that what it is now? You get a license for that shit?
Yeah.
Like, the numbers are showing that it's more so colored people across the board, and Latinos are now catching up to almost having the same amount of numbers of incarceration as Black population. So that's why I'm choosing to use the word color, even though we're talking about Black Lives Matter. As doing further research, I'm seeing that it's colored people. I'll be putting up some graphs where it shows skin color. If you're like a light, they say a lighter brown color, you're 40% likely to get arrested or stopped for an arrest or something like that. And the darker your shade of color, the more likely. So I'll be putting those graphs up and other things, but I think it's important to understand that the reason why this movement was made was not out of racism. It was out of an understanding that a certain population is starting to be targeted. It's like my poor tigers. My poor tigers, you guys. There's 100,000 of them. Now there's like 1,200. Actually, I think it went to 850 or something like that. Not saying Black people are tigers. I'm just saying that the movement is about all lives matter, so why is this specific race or colored people in general getting targeted more than another race? So.
And more white people with no color from that community need to start realizing that this is a problem, speak out on it, and realize that yes, all lives matter, but Black Lives Matter, the movement, is to focus on people of color and the injustice that they've had throughout history. So yeah, that's what we're saying.
My sister, she's pretty brown, you guys. And she would come and get me because, there's assholes in our neighborhood. We weren't in the best neighborhood. And, some of these things, as I was researching, Black Lives Matter, one of the things they said even about Black women is they have attitude. That's why most Black men are not with Black women. It's false. Completely false. My sister's brown. And I'm pretty light. Guess who'd be getting into fights with those kids that were picking on my sister? That'd be me. I'm really not that nice, you guys. Like, really not. We have the same mom, same dad. She just came out darker. So it really is a targeted race.
So
because
she's seen firsthand.
I seen firsthand.
So you being mixed, you and your sister are walking side by side together, and you witness people treat her different, even though you come from the same parents, because you're
I'm lighter skinned, and the one who was getting in the most fights was actually me. Not saying that my sister wouldn't get into a fight if she absolutely had to. She just avoided it, and her nature was just more nice. Where my dad would constantly roughhouse with me and teach me how to fight, so I tended to not be aggressor, but I definitely have no problem with dropping a brick on a bitch's face. Like, don't fuck with me, don't. I love my sister.
The next time someone says all lives matter and I'm trying to bring light to this movement, I'm gonna drop a brick on someone's face. No, I'm just kidding. But it gets very frustrating.
Some of the most sweetest, my sister being one of them, sweetest colored people, and I read these comments of like why they're single why, particularly women, why they're single, why they're this. Oh, it's because their attitude. It's because of this, because of that. No, I'm sharing you guys right now. I'm light skinned. Look at that shit. And I just told you some of the fucked up shit I will do in a fight. Like, it's not about. Everyone has a bad attitude. That's more so your background, where you come from, what you choose to do with yourself, how you educate yourself. Black Lives Matter, in our perspective, is about, you know, raising awareness and having a better understanding that everyone has freaking attitude and no particular race should be targeted for a specific type of attitude or crime or drug affiliation or be limited to success or fair wages because they're born darker shade of color. Like I said, I'm mixed. We all come from the same dad. I'm the lightest one. Even my twin brother's darker than me. My twin brother. Some shit. Moving on. What we've been up to.
Yes. So, as we know, COVID-19 kind of fucked up the entertainment industry a little bit. I was supposed to have me and Janaea were supposed to be doing a show this month in New Mexico on May 8th called You Are Not Alone, to bring awareness to mental health and addiction. Started the show to bring, I want to say like awareness, but just like wanted to do it in honor of my friend Isaac Zarati's life. Today actually is the exact day that it's been 12 years since they found him dead. So this is kind of, in a way, with talking about people of color and how much they're discriminated, I do feel like with what happened with my friend, I feel like they could have investigated his case a lot more, but I feel like it was labeled suicide and just brushed to the side because he had a record and he's brown. And to this day, there's mixed emotions about it within the community of Clovis, as far as, you know, people thinking this happened or that happened. But I think it really does come down to, like, drugs are not everything, guys, and it does alter your mental health. You know, doing drugs can put you in the wrong crowd of people, people that may even, like, eventually end up hurting you over drugs and stuff like that. So just keep your friends close, watch out for them. You know, if you're partying all night, don't let them drive. Do whatever you can to just not let them leave. If they have to work, hey, just rather have them call into work than, you know, risk, you know, being all messed up and driving. Anything can happen. Life is unexpected. There's crazy people out there. So care about your friends and their well-being. Yeah, so I just want to say that. Rest in peace, Isaac Zarati. Other than that, just ready to put BBT out, waiting for that video to come back from Henny Flats, continuing just to work on visuals and getting subscribers for what's what, we'll be adding some more interesting things to the show, and yeah, just trying to stay busy, going back to school for audio engineering, and that's pretty much it. I'm doing delivery groceries for Instacart, trying to keep that money coming in and keep the creativity flowing. That's what I've been up to. What about you, Janae?
All right. So I've been advertising merch by Amazon. We have some shirts out on there. They had closed down because of COVID-19. They're merch by Amazon Factory. They're slowly reopening it and re-putting out designs into production. So they recently let me know that the shirt me and Lizzie are wearing today, which is promo for her new single, BBT. So little rubber ducky here, that is available to purchase now on Amazon. We have the links for it. I've been told that you can't just look it up. So while the Amazon is trying to figure out why that is, me and Lizzie do have the links for it if you guys want to purchase these shirts. So I've been advertising for that, and also just trying to advertise awareness of Lizzie's EP. A lot of our companies work close together. My company, the lovely Janaea Promotion Company, and Lizzie Page Entertainment. We'll have more. We have some new stickers, holographic stickers out for like $1, and
One's a
more
rubber ducky like this one, and the
Yeah.
other one's
of the big black truck that are
yeah, it's like
in production right now. Also, I've been working on my own, the lovely Janaea shirts and stuff. I have a few people selected to model them that are going to be taking some professional pictures here. So I've been working on those shirts and working on some other projects that I'm not going to talk about yet. They're secrets. But if you keep watching, you might find out. If you don't watch, then I don't give a fuck if you don't know, because that means you're not really paying attention. Like, how much do you care?
care about me. Just kidding.
All right, so we're gonna go to our interactive questions. So, every month I just like to hear feedback on things that I'm thinking about or Lizzie's thinking about, and we just want. I always feel like to help get you out of your head, it's better to bounce ideas or thoughts off of yourself to another person, just to see if it's like something that's just you or something that's a general thought that a lot of people are seeing what you're seeing, or is it just you? Like, that's the whole point of having interactive questions, is to get to know our audience better. So the question was, who has seen Surviving R. Kelly on Netflix? What's your thoughts?
Let's share our personal thoughts first before we get into it.
I mean, all right, here's my personal thoughts. First, I was like, I love, like, what is that?
I Believe I Can Fly.
Ignition?
Yeah.
Hot and fresh out the kitchen, mama wrote it in that body. Okay,
I'm
so
a
I never knew when I was in high school, like it's like when I first heard Ignition, the remix, and I never knew that he was doing anything like what I saw on Surviving R. Kelly. I never knew. I was just like bouncing on it. Now I won't listen to it anymore. My excuse for watching Space Jam and listening to that song is all Michael Jordan, let me tell you. I'm supporting Michael Jordan.
Same.
Don't judge me. And if I hear it at a graduation, like that song, I believe I can fly, I'm going to be like this, supporting Michael Jordan.
Yep.
So you hear, I believe I can fly, Michael Jordan.
I know.
So the reason why I say that is because I don't give a fuck, consent or no consent. Adults are more matured than a 13-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old. So it is never okay to pee
Oh God.
on one.
It's
not funny, but like
when-
there's so many reasons in this situation that I have to laugh it off.
I kind of feel guilty because when the Dave Chappelle skit came out, the I Want to Pee on You or whatever, I laughed. I watched it over and over and I laughed. I thought it was hilarious. I just didn't realize the severity of the situation at the
that
time.
you're really picking on the person that was like, subject to it. So
I hope that all the women that genuinely came forward and like actually got, violated, I hope that they get justice. I hope R. Kelly serves the time that he deserves to serve, and it sucks that he's an amazing artist and that, that music is kind of like, it's tainted in a way, 'cause
like that's the thing. He is an amazing artist, but that doesn't excuse bad behavior.
It doesn't.
There's so many times that like you get away with so many things because you make yourself an asset, because financially the company can't afford to lose the money you bring in, or because of this or because of that. So because of bad press, because of this, because of that, the cost of money, the losing people, starting all over again, they choose to just try to cover things up, and then it becomes worse. And so my whole thing with this is like, first of all, I don't care what engineered you to be, however, like everyone has a personal responsibility to take care of their mental health. Like at the end of the day, we don't choose what screws us up in life, and that is very much so true, but once you become an adult and you're more aware of things, like I know he was, he had so much money. So there's so many sources he could have gone to, you know, help his mental health. And we're all responsible for our own health, physically, mentally, emotionally, so on and so forth. So it's never okay to victimize someone or make someone a victim because something happened to you when you were young. You should be in the mindset of breaking a cycle, not continuing a cycle of abuse. So that's basically my thoughts on it.
Same here.
Yeah. All right. So what we had from people who chose to respond to this. How do you say his name?
Reinu Fernando.
Okay. Hold on, I need to pee.
Very funny.
So, I have to admit, it's actually in the comments too. I did buy the Dave Chappelle show because I watched Surviving R. Kelly and they showed skits of Dave Chappelle's show commenting on R. Kelly's video of him peeing on, they said to believe was a 13 or 14-year-old?
14. I think possibly 13. Actually, it might have been 12. The pee girl, yeah.
And we don't call you the pee girl, it's just the
I didn't know. I mean, yeah. No offense, but.
Emily X. Gore, it sheds light on a lot of different topics, not just about him, about manipulation in general, injustice in the system, and those around individuals like R. Kelly. See, she said it's...
And the problem with sex
Exactly what I just
trafficking
said,
with
Emily.
people of power and celebrities have a lot of power. So when you have a young girl who, and their parents who think that, you know, their daughter, that they're about to be the next star, you know, you kind of lose sight of almost reality because you're just so thrown away with the fame and the excitement of that, you know? So
Yeah.
it's really fucked up.
Noel Rodriguez, he did make good music though, not gonna lie. That's what I was saying. Like, I think it was hard for a lot of people because it's like, at the end of the day, and I think I made a comment about this, it's just like, music is what brings a lot of people together. And so, at the end of the day, you want to focus on music, but at the same time, it becomes this catch-22 because even though you want to support the legacy of the beautiful music, at the same time, when you see the damage to how many lives were able to be damaged because of the music and the talent and stuff, it kind of makes you not want to support it anymore.
Yeah, and we know he didn't do it alone. It's like how many celebrities went to these parties and saw all these young women, you know, like in his presence and knew, like, you know, that something was wrong and didn't say anything. And all the people that help him, you know, do these things, it's like, I hope that those people are held accountable at some point as well.
I'll let you read Danielle.
All right, so here's more responses to our question.
And do a shout out to her because she does your makeup.
Shout out to Danielle Devon, my beautiful makeup artist. She's freaking awesome. Check her out with Manyface Goddess. Anyway. So, Danielle Devon's response to the Surviving R. Kelly documentary was, Black girls are the lowest on the pole of society. That's what I took away from it. Last year, too many black girls went missing. Too many black girls are preyed on, but we are seen as over-sexualized to society and media. Therefore, white America doesn't give a fuck. And I totally agree with that. I mean, they say it so many times in the documentary. It's like, why some people did go, and I think it was one of the first women that actually got victimized by R. Kelly when said something and nothing happened. And, you know, they're like, because we're black girls and nobody cared at the time. And now finally so many people are coming forward that, like, they had no choice but to start caring. But I totally agree with Danielle, and it's a sad truth. Who's the next one? Dr. Jaws Imperial. He says, it's overkill bullshit. Yes, R. Kelly is a filthy, lame ass, but come on now, duh. His ass was doing it since the dang 90s. What the fuck? These ladies knew what the fuck they were entering. Come on now.
I disagree.
I disagree just
The
because
age group is too young.
that age group, yeah, they don't have that mental maturity. And when you're blinded by fame, when a superstar is in front of you, it's just a lot different. And I don't agree with that, but I know a lot of people do have that opinion about it.
Bill Zacharias. Did I say it right? Zacharias, okay. He said, my mind is telling me no. I'm guessing
Oh,
the rest of that is
God.
what my body is telling me yes. It's kind of like his confession or something.
He does confess a lot of what he was doing in his music. If you just
That's
listen,
what
like now that you know, and it's just like, oh my gosh, why did we not know?
All right, I'm gonna say your name right, Trivona. I said it right.
We're shooting our show right now. You get a little sneak peek.
Is she on there?
I don't think so.
I want her to hear me saying her name right. Okay, so and those of you that are just tuning in, we do this show once a month, and we do an interactive question on my Facebook, and I post a question, people respond, and then at the end of the month, we read everyone's comments. So that's how it goes.
Yep, and this one is, what is people's thoughts and opinions on surviving R. Kelly?
Yes. So Trivona said, or Trivona. I said it right the first time. You better heard the first time. She's gonna be like, fuck.
I know.
The fuck, man. So I had decided to not watch the series because I was informed that R. Kelly made the series as a money grab. However, with what I've heard, he was a victim who became an attacker and suffers from a personality disorder. Sadness part for me is I still blame the parents, not just any victims. And they aren't all victims, but definitely his parents for not protecting such a precious thing, a child who would have grown to do so much good. So I guess she blames R. Kelly's parents and the parents of the children that were involved. Me being a parent, I don't necessarily agree with that, because you can tell your kids everything, but if they're stubborn like my ass is, sometimes you want to learn the hard way. You really think that you're right, and you're trying to do all this shit to prove your parents wrong, and then eventually either you come to realize they're right after you have your own kids, or you realize they're right because now you're facing some of the shit that they already told you you're going to face if you do it. I'm kind of like brutally honest with my kids. Like, I tell them not to roughhouse, you're going to get freaking hurt. They come to me, they got hurt. And that's just a mild thing. And I'm just like, I don't feel bad for you, and I'm not giving you a Band-Aid. That's just an example, a mild example. But they get more detailed. Let's see here. I don't know where I went. Hold on. I don't know why I did that. Why did I do that? Okay. We have one more, Mariah Green.
Okay, so we're reading responses to what people think about R. Kelly. This is our interactive question. Janaea posts it, you guys respond. So Mariah Green says, I watched it. I feel like some of the stories were a bit exaggerated, and yes, I'm sure they gained a whole lot from it. Fame, but also hate. Hearing the testimonies from the girls that were already broken before they met R. Kelly just makes me think that R. Kelly just did what some men who are manipulators do in general, but 10 times worse. To share the story allows him not to be hidden anymore. But since he denies everything that occurred, that shows how messed up he is.
Isn't that like narcissism or something?
I agree with that. I mean, yeah,
narcissist.
He targeted high school girls that don't have that mental maturity to make mature decisions. And then he's a superstar. Like, he already has a certain amount of power. On top of that, he's an attractive man.
Yeah, and that's one of the things they said. Like, he was hanging out in front of high schools, and your name goes a long way. Like, even now, like, when I talked to a client of mine, they told me, like, the best way to even promote your music is to try to get on college radios and high school radios, or I don't even think high schools have radios, but like what R. Kelly was doing was like promoting his music outside of the school and getting other students involved from outside, but he manipulated that power and turned it into a whole another ball game that it should never have been. Like, he should have been, oh, here's some free tickets to come to, you know, my concert, but not like, oh, let's go do this. Or, you know what I mean? Like exclusive, come meet me at this room or in the studio or this and all that. Like all that shit, like not okay. Like promotion should be like, here's some free tickets, spread the word to your friends, you know, whatever. And at that time, from what I understand, he didn't even need that because he was already, like, everyone already knew who he was, you know?
Exactly.
So, anyways, we got subs today from Good Sense Subs.
It was actually really good, way better than Subway. It's actually my new like favorite spot. What is it called again?
Good Sense Subs.
Good Sense Subs. You guys gotta check that out.
And I think there's a .com, so you can check it out online if you want to.
Before we end, just want to say rest in peace to Breonna Taylor, Ahmed Armory, and everyone, every black person who's lost their lives and been gunned down due to racism, systemic racism, and prejudice. Also, rest in peace to one of my best friends, Isaac Zarati, who lost his life today, 12 years ago. We got to create change, and we create change by creating awareness. And again, I hope that more people from the white community can come out and talk about it and realize that we really have a problem so we can begin to see change. Thank you guys for tuning into that last bit. We're shooting our show right now.
Love everyone.
See, we got her.
It's important.
She's recording it for us. Hey! We're moving
And she
up
was
in the world.
traumatized.